Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Eatin Good in the Woods Campground Review, Great Smoky Mountains National Park Series. Today we're going to campground number 2, Smokmont Campground, just outside of Cherokee, North Carolina. Y'all follow me, I'll show you around. Before we go any further, I'd like to remind you guys, please don't forget to mash that subscribe button, give me a big old thumbs up, maybe even leave me a comment or two. I sure would appreciate it. Wanted to tell you guys about this great app too, RV Parky. What a wonderful app to go find campgrounds all over this great country of ours. And it's absolutely free. Check your Play Store. Smokmont Campground is situated in the beautiful Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This campsite offers an ideal setting to enjoy the great outdoors. There are ridge after ridge of forest that straddles the border between North Carolina and Tennessee. It's also world-renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. The beauty of this ancient mountains and the quality of its remnants of the southern Appalachia culture, this is America's most visited national park. Smokmont Campground offers an unforgettable outdoor experience with the added convenience of flush toilets, drinking water, and sinks. There are campsites for tents as well as RVs, and tent pads, grills, and fire rings are also provided. There is also a flat, grassy area that is perfect for group activities like football, volleyball, or simply soaking up the sun. Smokmont Campground is surrounded by the picturesque mountain ranges with pristine mountain streams and rivers setting the backdrop for your camping adventure. Whether blanketed in spring wildflowers or vivid fall colors, the scenery at Smokmont never disappoints. Smokmont is at 2,200 feet. It also provides a moderate climate, characterized by mild winters and hot summers. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park preserves a rich cultural history of southern Appalachia, from the prehistoric Paleo-Indians to the early European settlements of the 1800s. The park strives to protect its historic structures, landscapes, and artifacts that tell the stories of the people that once called these mountains home. Let's clarify one thing right now. It's pronounced Appalachia, not Appalachia. Easiest way to remember is if you pronounce it Appalachia, someone will throw an Appalachia. Ha! That's funny, isn't it, Rodney? Now let me tell you a little bit about the campsites themselves. But first, a word from our sponsors. Say, that reminds me, if y'all are looking for a way to support this channel, keep this here train rolling full of farm fresh content twice a week, why don't you slide over to my Teespring shop, get yourself a coffee mug or maybe even a t-shirt. But if you don't want to do that, how about you go to buymeacoffee.com, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you help keep this train a-rolling. You can also visit boondockerswelcome.com. All of the links are in the description. Thanks a bunch. And now a few things about the campsites. First, you'll find these campsites to be rather spacious. Loads of room in between you and your neighbors. However, bear in mind these are primitive campsites, which means they don't have electricity and water at each site. There is a central watering station where you can fill up your tanks or go get you a bucket or two full of water to wash dishes in. There are flush toilets, but no showers. However, each site does have the standard accommodations, such as a lantern pole, a fire ring, and a picnic table. As I mentioned, there is no electricity at each site. However, most of the sites get a decent amount of sun if solar is your thing. The cost per night at the campground is a reasonable $25. However, if you have a Golden Age Pass or a Federal Integrity Pass, you'll get that site for half price. Checkout time is at 12 noon, and you can only use heat-treated firewood, which is usually sold there on site. Quiet hours are from 10 p.m. till 6 a.m., which means no generators after 10 p.m. Speaking of generators, they can only be used from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. And if you're tempted to charge your battery just by running your vehicle, don't do that. It's against the rules. Are there other rules? Well, I'm glad you asked. When it comes to firewood, like I said, you can only use certified heat-treated firewood. However, if it's dead and laying on the ground, you're free to burn it. Just do not bring power tools. It's hand tools only. You're only allowed to book for 14 days at a time, and you can only have up to 6 people on the campsite. Pets are allowed in the campground, but they must be confined or on a leash of no more than 6 foot. Pets are not allowed on trails and should not be left unattended in the campground or in your car. Please, by all means, prevent excessive barking and properly dispose of pet waste. Now, what that means is when your dog does its business, pick it up and throw it away. Now, I'm telling you, more and more national parks are shutting down campgrounds because people leave their trash behind and they don't clean up after them pets. Don't be one of them people. Alcohol is permitted in the park and in the campground as long as it's by a responsible adult 21 years of age or older. You might be thinking, can I bring my bicycle? Well, yes, of course you can. Bicycle riders must comply with all traffic regulations and are restricted to public roads, parking areas, and designated routes. Helmets are required for anyone under the age of 16 and are recommended for bicycle riders of all ages. The use of things like skateboards, inline skates, scooters, etc. is prohibited. And for the love of all things holy, leave the fireworks at home. Well, that's about going to do it for this episode of Eatin Good in the Woods Campground Reviews Great Smoky Mountains National Park series. For the money, I just don't see how you're going to beat this campground. And on top of that, it's a place just to go witness God's handiwork laid out right there in front of you. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I certainly hope y'all go out there, be nice to one another. I love y'all. God bless. We'll see you next week for part 3, which is Smokmont Campground. Until next time, bye-bye.